Hi, I'm Eric Jurgensen, a hobbyist blacksmith based in Oklahoma City. Welcome to my basement shop. I recently purchased a flexible wand from Mettle Works. That's M-E-T-T-L-E, and it's a play on words, obviously. Test your metal, or personal strength or resilience, versus the substance we love to forge. This is the solution to bringing your induction heater to your work instead of taking your work to your induction heater. You wouldn't necessarily use it all the time, but I found it's very, very handy for certain operations, and I'll show you some of those here. I also, at the same time, bought a pancake style coil. That'll be a separate video, but look for that coming soon. So you put this on the front of your machine with these two 8mm flare nuts. Then you put your coil right onto the end of your wand, and now you can take your coil to your work, and that's very handy. Now let me point out something very important. These have a lot of current going through them. I have sometimes used this part of the coil to heat things. When I made a large square rectangular thing out of 1/8 inch steel, actually it was when I made the box for my smithing magician, or whatever you want to call it, the guillotine tool. I wrapped these out of 1/8 inch square stock, 1/8 inch sheet stock, essentially, 2 inch by 1/8 inch, around a mandrel. And I would heat, when it got too big and too wrapped, I would actually heat it by putting it around this bar. That's a handy tip, and you can actually even heat sheet metal right in through here. But what that means is these are, to some extent, heaters. So if you have a pair of tongs in your hand and you're holding this and trying to heat some work, you're heating the tongs. They will be heating up in your hand. I found out the obvious way. So that's something to keep in mind. The other thing is, this will sometimes get down near your pocket. Don't have the cell phone in your pocket, because if you do, you just may quite literally fry it. Okay, so those caveats said, this is a very handy item. Costs about $300, and I'm happy with having spent that. I didn't get one of these for review, it's just a purchase. But I thought you might want to know about it, so here it is. Let me show you some handy ways to use it. Here's a pair of tongs I just finished, but one of the reins is out of line and I need to bend it over. Normally I'd pull out my oxyacetylene to handle this, because it's all carefully chalked up in the vise with shims and everything, and that can't be done before the metal cools. But with this wand, see, I get a really quick heat, and I can bend it right over into line. So there it is. In the past, when I wanted to do final straightening on one of these spiral candlesticks, I had to really rush to get the candlestick to the anvil before I ran out of heat. Now I can bring the heat right to the candlestick, and I can even straighten it while I'm heating it. That coil is a great example of a coil designed to do one thing that excels at something else as well. It was designed to do the heat treating of a blade, like the blade of this draw knife, but since it also does a great short heat and fits over the candlestick, it's perfect for this. So there you are. Two very useful ways to use the flexible wand. I'm sure you're thinking of a bunch of others. Next time, I'll show you the flat coil, and I'll show you the flexible wand again, because it's actually pretty handy using the flat coil with some sheet metal. So, until next time, forge on and make beautiful things.